Welcome guys to the Entrepreneur Bootcamp once again. In this episode, I want to hit you guys with a very strong topic that's going to help you get out of the gutter. Get your mind out of the gutter. Get your mind out of the cracks. Get your mind out of the place that you think that you can't overcome exactly what you're facing right now. And in this episode, we're going to talk about obstacles. And yes, obstacles are hard. Obstacles are strong. Obstacles can be taunting. They can be daunting. They can be flaunting on everything. So I don't even know if those words exist, but they rhyme. But anyways, guys, so talking about obstacles, and I'll dive right in deep by telling you a story about myself. So when I was a little younger, a few years ago, I had my own business and everything, but there was a time where something happened and a huge hiccup in my life happened. So at this time, I was losing everything. I didn't have enough jobs. I was fully in debt. I couldn't get out of the gutter. I was turning in all the equipment I had. I was turning in everything I ever owned. I didn't have anything to my name, and I was running out of money. So I was basically pretty much on the street. And not literally on the street, because we know, hey, you can go to your parents, you can go to this. But at the time, I was living with my girlfriend, and I didn't have anything to my name. I barely had a working computer. And I felt, because I was so, my mind was so stuck in what was happening, that what I did own, I was selling just to try to pay for stuff. And I was pretty much snowballing down the drain, but snowballing down the mountain. And it would eventually lead to the whole melting of my whole existence. That's how I saw it. That's how I saw what was happening to me. But then I realized and I had also been drinking almost daily. So this thing was hitting me so hard for no freaking reason. One day I woke up and I realized that if something was happening, it's because I let it happen. I woke up knowing that if I had created a mess, then I must clean it up. And I woke up knowing that if I saw this as a large obstacle, that I was never to overcome it. So what I told myself is that I would see past the obstacles, and I would see past everything that was happening and see the light at the end of the tunnel in order to clear my mind and see and center through laser sharp focus onto how I was going to overcome those obstacles. Going through all that in my business, I also didn't have a car. I borrowed a car at one point. So losing everything in my business, then about a month later, after I changed my mind, I went into business with this guy that I had previously had some contacts with, and I had given him, some of my previous clients, and for free. So I had given them, all the, I think it was about 100 or something clients for free, because I didn't want to do it, and I felt like he would be able to take care of them. So, but anyway, fast forward to this, I went into business with that guy. For 3 months, the business was going up. I did 10x his business, and then one day, out of nowhere, I got locked out of the office, locked out of my tool, locked out of everything, and I did not have access to anything without a penny in my pocket, and I didn't have anything to do. So he let me borrow his car for a month, which I really appreciated. And the other thing, I think a week prior to that, I had just bought a car in payment. So I had just financed the car because I was I need a car, and for some reason I didn't buy a truck or whatever. But anyways, I didn't have any money. The car I barely bought for, I think I gave a $500 down payment, and I had just a little bit of money there. This is when things were starting to look better, I thought. And then all of a sudden I get locked out of the office. I have, no work. I have nowhere working. I have no tools, no access to my personal documents, no access to my business documents, and any sort of thing that I could use to build a business. So facing this same obstacles again. So I had faced this prior, and now I'm facing this other set of obstacles in order to see. And I saw that there was one thing that I needed to change. I needed to visualize me overcoming those goals, but most importantly, I needed not to give up. This was another hurdle that presented to me that will build the strong mentality that I have today. This hurdle for me was something very, very significant, and something that really hurt me. Something that really, I could not sleep. I was very worried. I didn't know how I was gonna make it. But it was the beginning of this thing that unfolded, of this beautiful garden of opportunities that I will later see. So what happened then was, I started visualizing overcoming the goals. But what happened then was, I had definitely more obstacles to overcome, and I was not ready for everything that was gonna happen. So I'm left stranded. I ended up having to hire a lawyer to even get some stuff out of there. But this process took 3 more months. In the meantime, for I guess the grace of God, somehow, someone called me. They found my number. I think they found me on Facebook or Instagram or something. And they found like my old email. And for some reason, I was looking at this email. And I was already trying to think positive, like I was trying to get out of this. I didn't want to be, negative. I didn't want to be stuck in the issue. I didn't want, because I had to overcome this. I needed to overcome myself in order to overcome this goal. So if I was being anxious, I was being depressed, that was gonna do me no good. So I was forced to change the way I thought in order to manifest this life that I was gonna manifest. So I ended up receiving an email or something, a call, and then I go to this guy. He requested an estimate, and I'm like, well, I have no tools. I have no, the logic was, hey, I have no tools. I don't have a truck. All these things that were in my mind, I had to kind of like just push on my side in order to even go to this estimate. So I set up the estimate with this client, and then it turns out to be a very large project. So all in all, I was very knowledgeable on exactly what we needed to do. And so I gave him a really good price. I needed to do it. But it ended up being, somehow I ended up being like a $20,000 job, and I didn't have anything. So, and then all of a sudden this $20,000 job manifested. So, all in all, I'm here like, okay, I got this, $20,000 job. And then my mind kicked back again and said, you have no truck, you have no tools, you have no this, you have this. Like, I didn't have an invoice, I didn't have a business name, I didn't have anything. So what I did was, I still went, I gave him the estimate, and I told myself I would sell the job. So I sold the job. That was the first thing. So what I did was, I broke down that goal into small parts. I told myself I was gonna do the job, so I did. And the first thing was just to sell the job. So I broke it into very small parts of this whole hurdle, so that I will overcome one by one. So listen closely here, guys. The first obstacle was, okay, how do I win this job? So I won the job. Now the second thing is, well, how do I do it? Because I have no money, I have no tools, I don't have anything. So the best thing I could think of is I asked for a down payment from the guy. So I go ahead and ask for the down payment, and I was scared. I was really scared to ask for it, because the situation I was in, for some reason, I didn't have self-confidence to ask someone for a freaking down payment for a job. So I ended up asking him for a down payment, and he gives it to me. So that was the second hurdle. Third obstacle, I have a check, but I don't have an account in the business name. So me freaking all out, and I live far from this place anyway. So this is in Atlanta at the time. So it was like a city, to another city, 1 hour and a half or something. When you go through the Atlanta traffic, some of you may know that. So anyway, so I was facing this, and I ended up just not being able to create the account, because it would have taken me forever. Or actually, I did create the account. And if I'm not mistaken, I went to Chase. Okay, that's what it was. So I went to Chase, and I created the accounts, but now I got a 2-week hold on the check. So there we go, another obstacle. 2-week hold on the down payment, because it's the first, deposit or whatever. And this is back in like 2017, 2018, something like that. 2017, yeah. I'm not too sure, or 18. But anyway, so here I am. Like, now I have to wait 2 weeks. So remember, guys, I have no money for gas. I have no money for anything. My car is already going to be late on this payment, and it ended up being late on the payment. I wasn't going to worry about that. I was going to worry about my survival. So what I did was, That was the other obstacle. Now the other obstacle is once I was trying to get the materials, and then for some reason the material he wanted for the material selection, he didn't have it. So I had to wait for that and order it. So what I did was I ended up ordering the material, and I didn't have money to pay for it. I said, can I please order it? And then, I was hoping I kind of like set everything up for 2 weeks after that I would have the money in the bank to go pick up the material and pay for it. So that's exactly what I did. So now money clears. Here's the material. And now the other thing is, well, now that I got all this, well, hey, I don't have a truck, nor do I have tools. So what I had to do is I went to Walmart, and I think I spent like $400 on just the cheapest tools that I could find. And that was the thing. So I spent the tools there. I'm like, well, now I need a truck. So what I ended up doing is I was trying to look for trucks for rent and stuff, and I ended up having to rent a truck at one point. I ended up having to rent a U-Haul at one point. I ended up borrowing my dad's truck at one point. But all in all, this job got completed. Like, these obstacles got overcame. Then I got paid for that job. And then what this taught me here was that even though that I was gonna face obstacles, from time to time, that we must face them, and we must learn, and we must just see it just one by one, and know that there's a way of overcoming them. If you see an obstacle as a wall that you cannot climb and step right over, then you will not be able to overcome it. But if you break it down and just figure it out one step at a time, you will be able to overcome it. And I really hope that you find the story great, and you find the story motivational to get you going and overcome the obstacles that you have today. So with that being said, I'll dive into some tips here really quick, just to kind of break down everything that happened. So as you saw, the obstacle was identified. So the first thing is identify your obstacles. So identifying the obstacle allowed me to understand what it was, and to, see how I could overcome it by just, breaking it down into the smallest detail, and just getting, some logic out the way. And with that being said, that takes me to step number 2, which is having positive attitude. Not everything is about logic. Not your brain is trying to talk you out of doing what is good for you. You have to follow your heart. You have to follow what this is saying, and you have to say, I will overcome this, and you will. So this positive attitude is what's gonna drive you into getting where you need to go at the right moment, at the right time, and the right situations will happen to drive you out of there. The other one is seek for advice. When I was dealing with this, I was asking people, and the only person I felt like I could ask was my dad, because he always saw things the positive way, and he's dealt with obstacles like this previously in the past, and he was able to walk me through it. But with that being said, if you don't have someone that you could ask, I want you to find, I do want you to ask somebody, but I don't want you to ask your negative Nancy or worry word. So friend, I want you to ask someone that has overcame obstacles and is positive and is something that is doing good, and someone that's successful. So it can't be your friend. Like, it can't be the guy that's sitting there playing Call of Duty. It can't be that person. It's gotta be a person that has done something, or at least it's a little bit better than you. So because they've been in your shoes, they understand what you're dealing with, and they know how to get out of it. The other thing can be finding an accountability partner. So someone that you could talk to and discuss what's happening to kind of help you get through this. Sometimes accountability partners in this day and age, they really don't exist. But maybe like I was watching, I think it was the Valuetainment show on YouTube, and I think it had just started or something, or like it was very new. And I was watching that. I felt like I was getting some motivation from it. I was watching every motivational speaker I could watch. I was trying to feel accountable for what I did, as far as accountability goes, because you need something to say, hey, you can do it. Like, you need to go to something or to someone that can be the wall for you and direct you in the right direction, because sometimes we will stray, and the straying is that useless logic that your brain has trying to protect you. but you need to step away from it and go in the right direction. With this being said, the other one is educate yourself. So as I was going through this, I was going on YouTube, reading in internet articles, reading this. How do I overcome this? How do I do this? How do I stay more positive? How do I do this? Because in reality, what you're dealing with, I caused that in the past. I caused that, but it wasn't my future. If there was something I could change, was my present, so that my future could look a lot better than that. And so educating myself, I could learn from my mistakes and just kind of put two together and just stack all these knowledge in my brain to make sure that I used it at the right time. The other thing is, I want you to remember why you're doing this. I want you to look at your goal and say, well, I'm doing this because I have a family I want to take care of. I'm doing this because I want to prove myself. I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this because I'm worth more than what I'm being paid. I'm doing this because I am capable of great feats. I'm doing it because I was born to do something greater in my life. So no matter what obstacle you're facing, you remember why. Remember why you're doing this. That voice that's guiding you, that internal voice that's guiding you to do those feats. It's guiding you to become the greatest version of yourself. So I want you to think that when you're facing this, and that will power you through, and that same voice will guide you every step of the way. The other thing is, be patient. Sometimes as much as we work hard and hard and hard, sometimes we have to leave it, up to the greater good. Sometimes we can work hard 10 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours. But at the end of the day, you need to rest. You need to let go of that worry that you're having. You need to let go of that. You need to be free from what's causing you to do this, and you need to take a little bit of rest. I'm big on taking the weekends off. Even if you're working, you have a goal, you have a really big business, or you're this guy that's just trying to do it. But I think even like taking a day off would really help in resetting the brain and just kind of getting you, giving you more power as you come, as comes Monday. I had the other one was break down your obstacles into small goals. So that's exactly what we did in this story, and that's one of the most important ones. And the other one is, celebrate. Like every time you overcome something like that, celebrate. And I don't mean like go out and party with your buddies. I don't mean get like, super drunk or anything. But what I mean is thank yourself for doing it. Thank your inner voice. Thank the situation, and understand that situation is part of a greater good. And if you want to go out with your friends, have some fun, just do it, just do it wisely. Just like everything else, I want you to have fun. I like to have fun too. Let's do it, but let's not go crazy and like get, 3 days drinking or binge drinking. Don't do that. Don't waste your time. Don't go out with your buddies. They're just gonna do stuff. Like if you're adventurous, go out for an adventure. If you like going on a boat, go with your buddies on a boat. If you like, like hiking, go hiking. If you like, whatever you like, I want you to do it. I want you to fully express yourself. And that's gonna create in your brain that rush of positive energy and positive reinforcement that will guide you through. And with that being said, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this story, and I want you to, I hope you found it helpful. I really hope that, obstacles like this can be overcome. You can overcome this. You can overcome anything. The power is in you. And with that being said, comment down below if you have any thoughts about this, or if you have any obstacles you're overcoming currently, and we'll help you out in the comments. And if you like more content like this, go ahead and follow me and subscribe, and like this video, and I will see you on the other side.